metabolism. I want you to look at something. I'm going to give you one of those two trace minerals. It's called chromium. You've all heard of that, and people know that chromium. Remember I told you earlier that chromium deficiency will result in elevated blood cholesterol. Well, the guy who figured all that stuff out back in 1957 went back in all the frozen blood in American laboratories. He got back to 1948. He was looking at the chromium levels in human blood in micrograms per liter, which is parts per billion. And in 1948, there was a wide disparity in the amount of chromium in our blood, from 28 parts per billion to 1,000. And the ones who had 1,000 parts per billion of chromium in their blood were farmers, because they were still using wood stoves in 1948. And they were still putting the wood ashes that had some chromium in it in their gardens. And they were then eating the squash and the tomatoes and the beans that grew on that wood ash. The ones that had 28 parts per billion in their blood were from the city. We're eating Wonder Bread. By 1971, it had dropped universally to 13, because now even people out in the farm are using electricity or propane for cooking. No more wood ashes. 72, it dropped to 10. 73, it dropped to 4.7 to 5.1. In 1974, it dropped to 0.73 to 1.6. In 78, it dropped to 0.16. And remember, I said that that study came out in 1977. So everybody started using chromium. And so in 1980, it tripled. It went up to 0.43. But then it didn't work, because you need the two trace minerals and 23 cofactors. And so 85, it dropped back down to 0.13. And this is why we have so much diabetes today. Well, if you supplement with all the known essential nutrients with a special emphasis on these two trace minerals, the 23 cofactors, that's what we call this Duck Pack Plus, the odds of you getting type 2 diabetes is almost zero, because it will support and promote healthy metabolism, it will support and promote healthy blood sugar levels, and it's an amazing thing. You want to shut the barn door before the horse gets out. People say, well, I'm not sick. Why should I take that stuff? So you don't get sick. I'm 70 years old. The last time I visited a doctor with me being the patient was 53 years ago. My blood pressure is 121 over 41. My resting pulse is 47. Wah! Nobody's going to steal an airplane with me on it. Okay? Not too bad for an old codger.